What another week for space. Starship Flight Test 12 finally happened. SpaceX officially revealed IPO details. Billions in Bitcoin holdings suddenly became public. The Pentagon released new UFO related files, and Jeff Bezos just said something absolutely shocking. We need at least 2 SpaceXs. Let's dive in. After multiple delays and a last-second scrap earlier this week, SpaceX finally launched Starship Flight Test 12 from Starbase, Texas. And overall, this was one of the most important Starship flights ever. Not perfect, but absolutely a major success. For the very first time, SpaceX launched the new Block 3 or version 3 Starship architecture, the next evolution of the system designed for full reusability, orbital refueling and eventually Mars missions. The launch itself looked spectacular. Super Heavy Booster 19 performed a successful ascent and stage separation. Unlike earlier flights, SpaceX never planned to catch the booster with the launch tower this time. Instead, the booster conducted a controlled splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico near the Texas coast. Then came Ship 39. And this is where things got really interesting. The Starship upper stage deployed 22 mock Starlink satellites, tested new heat shield configurations, and even filmed itself during flight to analyze tile performance and thermal stress in real time. Not everything worked perfectly. One Raptor engine shut down unexpectedly during flight, forcing the remaining engines to compensate. But despite that issue, Starship still completed the mission profile and reached its planned splashdown zone in the Indian Ocean. And yes, the fiery re-entry footage looked insane. This matters because Starship is no longer just an experimental rocket. It is becoming the backbone of NASA's Artemis Moon program, future Starlink deployment, orbital refueling systems, and ultimately Elon Musk's vision of building a city on Mars. And remember, every successful Starship test doesn't just help SpaceX, it impacts the entire new space economy. Now to a much more controversial story. Reports this week revealed that more than 50 employees and researchers have left the newly merged SpaceX AI organization since February. Some of the departures reportedly include key AI talent working on Grok, coding systems and world models. So what's going on? Several reports point toward a combination of the following: extreme pressure, rapid restructuring, burnout, aggressive timelines, and Elon Musk's ultra-demanding leadership style. After the massive merger between SpaceX, xAI and X, Musk reorganized the company into a new division focused on AI coding, Grok voice, image generation and large-scale simulation systems. Now here's the important point. This is actually very typical for Elon Musk companies. Tesla, SpaceX and X have always operated with an extremely intense culture. High performance, very fast iteration, minimal bureaucracy and enormous pressure. Some people thrive in that environment, others burn out. And with the AI war heating up between OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, Meta and xAI, the competition for top AI talent has become absolutely brutal. Still, despite the departures, xAI and SpaceX continue hiring aggressively. So the real question is this a warning sign or simply the cost of moving faster than everyone else? Now let's talk about the biggest story in financial markets this week. SpaceX officially shared major parts of its IPO prospectus, and the numbers shocked many investors. According to reports, SpaceX generated massive revenue growth, but is still losing billions of dollars because of gigantic investments into Starship, Starlink, AI infrastructure and future Mars systems. The prospectus reportedly values SpaceX around $1.7 to $2 trillion. That would make it potentially the biggest IPO in history. Jim Cramer warned this week that the SpaceX IPO could create massive speculation and potentially trigger a new tech bubble if too few shares are made available to the public. But analysts also say something very important. SpaceX is no longer just a rocket company. It's becoming a global internet provider, a defense contractor, an AI infrastructure company, a satellite manufacturer, and potentially the transportation backbone for future lunar and Mars economies. In other words, investors are no longer valuing SpaceX as aerospace. They are valuing it as the infrastructure layer for the future space economy. And then came another huge surprise. The IPO documents revealed that SpaceX holds approximately 18,712 bitcoins. The company reportedly acquired those Bitcoin holdings for around $661 million at an average price near $35,000 per Bitcoin. Today, that position is estimated to be worth roughly $1.3 to $1.45 billion. That instantly makes SpaceX one of the largest corporate Bitcoin holders on Earth. And this matters far beyond crypto, because it signals that major technology companies are increasingly willing to use Bitcoin as part of their corporate treasure strategy. And honestly, it fits perfectly with Elon Musk's broader vision of decentralized technology, global internet systems and digital economies, maybe even eventually on Mars. Now to one of the weirdest stories this week. Following pressure from Donald Trump and renewed public interest in UFO disclosures, additional Pentagon-related UFO files were reportedly released. Most of the newly discussed material still does not provide proof of extraterrestrial life. But several analysts and journalists say the tone from government institutions is changing. Instead of immediate dismissal, officials are now openly discussing unidentified aerial phenomena, national security implications, and unexplained sensor data. And honestly, regardless of what people believe, one thing is clear. The UFO topic has completely moved from conspiracy culture into mainstream geopolitical discussion. And finally, Jeff Bezos gave a fascinating interview this week. In the interview, Bezos said humanity needs at least 2 SpaceXs. And honestly, that might be one of the biggest compliments Elon Musk has ever received from a competitor. Bezos essentially argued that access to space is too important to depend on only one dominant player. And he's right. Competition between SpaceX, Blue Origin, Rocket Lab, and other companies is accelerating innovation faster than ever before. Even more interesting, Elon Musk later responded positively online and gave Bezos credit for the statement. That shows something many people forget. Behind the rivalry, both Bezos and Musk actually believe in the same long-term idea, that humanity must become a true spacefaring civilization. So what happens next? Starship Flight Test 13 could now move incredibly fast. Orbital refueling tests are getting closer. The SpaceX IPO story is only beginning, and the entire space sector is heating up again. We are entering a new era where AI, space, robots, Bitcoin, satellite networks and geopolitics are all starting to merge together. And honestly, the next few years may completely redefine humanity's future in space. Don't forget to like, subscribe and join me next week for another episode of This Week in Space. And remember, the future is happening faster than most people realize. Ciao!